An MOU between the Kenya Pharmacy and Poisons Board and the Indonesia Food and Drug Authority, which will facilitate the strengthening, promotion, development, and implementation of regulatory cooperation in pharmaceutical products. Specifically, we have agreed with His Excellency the President that we should never find ourselves in the place where we did when the COVID pandemic hit, where we didn't have facilities to produce capacity, and we ensure that we can produce vaccines and other products, pharmaceutical products, for our countries, especially in the global south. And I am very excited that there is opportunity for both Kenyan and Indonesian companies to collaborate and our two countries to benefit from the access, easy access of pharmaceutical products. An MOU that establishes a framework that was signed by Biofax and Indonesia Biopharma for cooperation also in the space of technology transfer, contract manufacturing, registration, supply, and marketing of vaccines portfolio that will be manufactured by Biopharma, an Indonesian company in the Republic of Kenya. Again, a welcome development for investments from our sister country of Indonesia in Kenya. Additionally, our two countries have also signed a letter of intent to strengthen collaboration on the promotion of investment flows between Kenya and Indonesia. Again, His Excellency the President has been gracious to also provide leadership so that we can conclude a bilateral investment treaty within the next 3 months also, to make sure that we do not miss the opportunities that come as a result of the visit of my brother, President Widodo. Our respective ministers will continue to engage in bilateral discussions to conclude additional frameworks of cooperation in agriculture, education, and other areas of mutual interest to anchor business-to-business relations, which is the lifeblood of our thriving interstate cooperation. 6 additional MOUs have been signed between our trade facilitation institutions during this visit in the following sectors: oil and gas, pharmaceuticals, edible oils, agriculture, including livestock, exports, and apparel production. And let me say here specifically that the great country of Indonesia expects our Kenyan livestock sector to export at least 100,000 livestock to Indonesia every year. There is opportunity for the private sector to facilitate that. And there is also opportunity for Indonesia to set up a crude refinery, the crude palm oil refinery in Kenya, again, to make sure that we not only facilitate palm oil from Indonesia to Kenya, but also to our region. So there are real possibilities of investments in that space, and that is why the bilateral investment treaty will be necessary to ensure that the investments both ways are protected. These value addition ventures will catapult the value of our trade relations and leverage on the comparative advantage of Kenya to access the East African and the African market, and for Indonesia, for us to also access the ASEAN market in that region. We have additionally discussed the importance of entering into a bilateral investment treaty, as I have said, that will provide a stable and predictable investment environment, which is a precondition for accelerated private sector investment. We have tasked our two joint teams to finalize these pieces of agreements. We have also, I have informed His Excellency the President that Kenya is open for business. A significant step in this direction must remain the relaxation of and progressive abolition of visa restrictions to enter or to entry between our two nations. On our part as Kenya, we have taken the decision to extend the visa-free entry not only to holders of diplomatic and service passports, but to all holders of Indonesian passports. So our friends from Indonesia can now come to Kenya visa-free. I also had the pleasure to brief His Excellency the President on the upcoming Africa Climate Summit to be held in Nairobi from the 4th to the 6th of September this year, underscoring the primacy of cooperative approaches in the search for solutions to the most pressing global challenges of our time. And I appreciate Mr. President has informed me that they will be holding almost a similar feat in Indonesia between the 5th and the 7th, but he has graciously agreed to send a delegation at the ministerial level to represent Indonesia in our Africa Climate Summit. Additionally, I expressed Kenya's position on the imperative to democratize current geopolitical context and dynamics. I also briefed my brother, President Widodo, on the expansion and renovation of the United Nations office in Nairobi to match facilities elsewhere in UN offices globally. President Widodo has assured me of Indonesia's support for this expansion, and Mr. President, I want to give you our appreciation as a government and as a people. In conclusion, President Widodo and I reiterated our shared commitment to the development of Kenya-Indonesia relations and the full pursuit of all partnership opportunities available to us in the various priority areas we have identified. And I have asked my good brother to consider another visit to Kenya. And I have also told him that at an opportune moment, I will take a visit to Indonesia to scale up what we have agreed in Nairobi in his visit. Thank you very much. Welcome, Mr. President.
Yang Mulia Presiden William Ruto, suatu kehormatan bagi saya berkunjung ke Kenya. Indonesia dan Kenya memiliki kedekatan historis sejak Konferensi Asia Afrika tahun 1955 dan Gerakan Non-Blok tahun 1961. Kenya adalah sahabat penting Indonesia dan Indonesia juga terus berkomitmen untuk memperkuat kerjasama dengan Kenya. Dalam pertemuan tadi kami telah membahas beberapa hal. Yang pertama, peningkatan perdagangan yang mencapai 507 juta US dollar di tahun 2022 dan perlu diperluas dengan penjajakan berbagai peluang-peluang lainnya. Indonesia dapat menjadi pintu masuk ke Kenya, ke ASEAN, dan Kenya dapat menjadi pintu masuk
as an entry point for Indonesia to sub-Saharan Africa. Therefore, I encourage the establishment of a preferential trade agreement as soon as possible. Second, Indonesia wants to increase investment in Kenya, particularly in the energy sector. To this end, I kindly request your support for Pertamina's investment with the Geothermal Development Company valued at $1.5 billion US dollars, and with Guma Group to be soon realized and expanded into the new and renewable energy sector, as well as the need to establish a bilateral investment treaty between our two countries. Third, cooperation between. Hope that this cooperation can be expanded to medicinal products and other pharmaceutical items. Fourth, I have also conveyed Indonesia's commitment through Indonesian aid for Kenya in the fields of healthcare, food security, and disaster management. Onwards, this will continue to be enhanced, particularly in the sectors prioritized by Kenya. Fifth, in today's condition of global uncertainty, it is time that we reinforce the Bandung spirit among nations of the Global South. It is time for the world to listen to the voices and interests of developing nations, including their right to make development leaps. Your Excellency, this visit has resulted in a number of concrete cooperation, 3 intergovernmental cooperation, and 8 cooperation between state-owned enterprises and the private sector. I hope that these can be soon realized. In closing, I invite President Ruto to visit Indonesia. Thank you. President Ruto, thank you very much. Are there any questions from the media?
No questions.
Good. Everybody seems to be okay with what you have said.
Thank you very much, good people.
Thank you. The Excellencies will proceed now for a luncheon, and after that, we'll invite the rest of the delegations to join them. Thank you. Presidencies have successfully concluded bilateral discussions covering a diverse range of areas for mutual collaboration and partnership. Details they will share shortly in a joint address to the media. But first, they will now oversee the signing of 4 memoranda of understanding and a letter of intent. And we'll begin with the first MOU between the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum of the Republic of Kenya and the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources of the Republic of Indonesia. And the MOU seeks to promote cooperation by sharing knowledge, boosting skills, and fostering innovation in diverse aspects of the energy sector, including geothermal technology advancement, rural electrification, renewable energy, power transmission and distribution, and petroleum exploration and production. That MOU will now be signed by the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Energy and Petroleum of Kenya, and the Minister of Energy and Mineral Resources of the Republic of Indonesia. Thank you very much. The next MOU will be between the Ministry of Mining, Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs of the Republic of Kenya and the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources of the Republic of Indonesia on cooperation in the mining sector. The MOU aims to boost cooperation in mining and geology through joint studies, knowledge sharing and capacity building. It includes mining aspects like lab services, exploration in valid concessions, knowledge sharing on testing, quality, standards, marketing, and capacity building. For geology, joint studies encompass geoscientific research, mineral evaluation, environmental assessments, and geochronological research aligning with shared goals, of course, between the two countries. It will now be signed, that MOU, by the Cabinet Secretary of Mining, Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs of Kenya, and the Minister of Energy and Mineral Resources of the Republic of Indonesia. Thank you very much. The third MOU is between the Pharmacy and Poisons Board of the Republic of Kenya and the Indonesian Food and Drug Authority of the Republic of Indonesia on regulatory cooperation in the field of pharmaceutical products. The objective of this MOU is to strengthen, promote, develop, and implement regulatory cooperation in the field of pharmaceutical products, including medicinal products, biological products, active pharmaceutical ingredients, traditional medicines, health supplements, and quasi-drugs. And of course, again, it's based on principles of equality and mutual benefit. That MOU will be signed by the Chief Executive Officer of the Pharmacy and Poisons Board of the Republic of Kenya and Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia. The fourth MOU is between Kenya Biovax and Biopharma of Indonesia. The MOU establishes a framework for cooperation between the countries in technology transfer, contract manufacturing, registration, supply, and marketing of vaccines portfolio manufactured by Biopharma in the Republic of Kenya. That MOU will be signed by the CEOs of the respective institutions. And finally, a letter of intent to express the intention of the two countries to strengthen collaboration on the promotion of investment flows from or between both countries. This will be signed by the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Investments, Trade and Industry for Kenya, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs from the Republic of Indonesia. Thank you very much. I now kindly invite the respective ministers and officials that have signed the MOUs to take their seats with the rest of the delegations, and thereafter invite you, Your Excellencies, to address the media. Thank you.
Your Excellency, Joko Widodo, President of the Republic of Indonesia, distinguished officials, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and on behalf of the people and government of Kenya, and on my own behalf, I take this opportunity to welcome you, Your Excellency, and your delegation, specifically because this is a historic visit, the first one by an Indonesian head of state to Kenya. And I want to say, Your Excellency, we don't take it for granted. Thank you very much for the consideration you have made to visit our country. Kenya, as I explained to you, Your Excellency, is the cradle of mankind. We are very happy, therefore, to welcome you home. This is where humanity began, and the next time you come, Your Excellency, when you have a bit of time, we will take you to pay a visit to where your ancestors came from. This visit, Your Excellency, is also a sign of goodwill and commitment to advance and cement the close historical ties enjoyed by our two countries. President Widodo and I have had fruitful bilateral engagement during which we discussed various issues, set out priority areas of cooperation, and witnessed the signing of the memoranda that you have seen here and a letter of intent to strengthen commercial collaboration and the promotion of investment between our two countries. This visit by Your Excellency reaffirms the strong bonds of friendship between our nations and show our interest in deepening and strengthening our partnership to enable us thrive now and into the future. During our discussions, President Widodo and I seized the opportunity to share ideas about scaling up on collaboration to seize an emerging opportunity towards improving the balance of trade between our two countries. The position at the moment is that we are importing close to $500 million of products of different categories from Indonesia, and we export just under $100 million of product. That speaks two things. Number one, that we have an uneven trade imbalance, and also that the scope is not what we would expect. Both those give us the two opportunities to balance our trade, but to also scale up our trade between our two countries.